Hello students, today we will be starting wind, storm and cyclones. In wind, storm, cyclone, first we will discuss about the wind. As we know that in the atmosphere there is a air, and air is a main constituent of the atmosphere. So we will discuss that the wind is also a major constituent of atmosphere. As we say that air is present in atmosphere, so every time air moves means there is a presence of air which is moving. So that presence of moving air or the moving air itself is known as the wind. And air moves from region means we said that the moving air is known as the wind. So the movement of air is dependent of air pressure, which means that air always moves from the region of high pressure to low pressure, and the greater the difference in pressure, faster the air will move. Means the movement of air is dependent of the pressure difference. If the pressure difference is low, then the movement of air is less, but if the movement of air is very large, then the pressure is large. Now we will discuss that whenever we have a smoke or whenever there is a presence of fumes, they always move in the upwards direction. Why so? Whenever the sun rays fall on the earth and air near the earth's surface is heated due to the trapping of solar radiations, and when there is a heating, they start expanding, and on expanding they occupy more space. Means the same amount of the air which was present earlier in a small area now needs a larger area due to its expansion, and due to its expansion it becomes lighter. Hence the warm air is lighter than the cold air. This is the reason for the smoke to go up. Now this was that how the smoke goes up. That is also dependent of the pressure. Now we will discuss that on the earth's surface there is a pressure which is exerted by the atmosphere, and that pressure exerted by atmosphere on the earth's surface is known as the atmospheric pressure, or it may also be termed as air pressure. Now we will discuss an activity which will prove or which will give evidence that there is the existence or there is the existence of atmospheric pressure in the atmosphere. For this, let us consider a cuboid or a tin can. Cuboid shaped tin can. Initially it was empty, and here we have taken a stopper. And now initially it was empty, but now we have put some water in it. After putting of water, we put it on a burner to be heated up. Initially we said that there is a tin can which was empty, that was having only the presence of air in it. We made a hole and we put a stopper on it. Through that stopper we poured some water in the tin can. Now there is a presence of water plus air in this tin can. Now we put this tin can filled with water having stopper on a burner. Now slowly and gradually it will accept the heat from the burner and the water starts boiling. As the water starts boiling, it will evaporate and the vapors will escape through this blue colored stopper. With the vapors, as the vapor escape from the tin can, it will be accompanied with the presence of air also, which was present in the tin can. Now, if after this evaporation we put the stopper again, means now with the evaporation of water or with the absence of water, the air is also escaped from that tin can. After that, the tin can will be getting cooled slowly and gradually, because now it is no more on the burner. So the tin when will be cooled and the steam in its side condenses. Due to the presence of pressure in the atmosphere, it will be deformed, because inside the tin can there is nothing to prevent it from the outer pressure, but the outer pressure will be exerted. Hence, due to the more outer pressure, the tin can will be deformed or it will be crushed, and it will be like this. So, this figure represents the crushed tin can. Hence, this activity shows that there is a presence of pressure in the air. Now, we will discuss about that we said during the scope, when we discussed that the smoke always moves upwards, we discussed that there is a expansion of air. We have discussed that there is a sun rays which heated up the air, and due to that heat, air expands. Now we will discuss an activity that how air expands. For this, we will take two paper bags. These are the two paper bags which are put on a stick. Now we have hanged them on a stick. Now we put a candle below one of them. Initially there was nothing, they were hanged, but now we put a candle on one of them. The candle is enlightened. Now we will observe that the bag below which the candle is there have the disturbance in its position, and its position becomes like this. Means this figure, this red colored figure and encircled part represents the bag condition on which we have enlightened a candle below. So the disturbance of the balance give or tells that the warm air is lighter than the cold air, and it also gives us that on heating air expands, and every expansion occupies more space than its original form. Hence, the same thing becomes lighter, and the warm air is therefore lighter than the cold air. In nature, there are several situations where warm air rises at a place and the air pressure at that place is lowered. So, this was an activity which states that warmer air is lighter and air expands on heating. Now, we know that there are the wind currents in the atmosphere. We will discuss that how are they generated. The solar radiations which are provided to us from the sun are uneven, means they are in a diffused form, and whenever they are in a diffused form, it means that they are not even, they are uneven. Uneven means that they are not distributed in an equal amount at each and every place. There is an uneven distribution of solar radiations, so that uneven heating is responsible for such wind currents. Whenever there is a sun rays, they fall on the whole earth, but the intensity of the sun rays differs from region to region, and on equator the solar radiations have maximum intensity in comparison to the poles or polar regions. So as we said that on equator there is a maximum intensity. So due to that intense amount of heat, the surface of earth in the equatorial regions become quite hot. So this hot air is lighter, as we discussed in the above example. Being lighter, it rises upwards, and the polar regions which receives low intensity of heat have cooler air, and this cooler air of the polar regions start flowing towards the equatorial region, because the air of the equatorial region rises upwards being hot. In this way, air flows from high pressure region to low pressure region. This flow of air from one place to another constitutes the wind. As we said that the moving air is known as the wind, and the air moves in such a manner, and this moving air constitutes the wind in the atmosphere. Now, this was the uneven heating which we have discussed is on the equatorial and polar region. Now we will discuss that there is a presence of water on the earth's surface, and there is a presence of land also. So due to the presence of uneven heat on the earth, there will be the uneven heating of land and water also. So in summer, near the equator, as we discussed that the equatorial regions have more intensity of heat, hence the land which is there is warmed up faster, and the temperature of the land is always higher during daytime, is higher than that of the water which is in the ocean. So the air from the land gets heated and rises because it is lighter. This causes the flow of winds from ocean towards the land, and whenever there is a flow of winds from ocean to land due to this pressure difference, then such winds are known as monsoon winds. Hence we can define that monsoon winds are the winds which flow from ocean towards the land. As we said that these winds flows from ocean to earth, to land, and in the ocean we know that there is a presence of water. So with the air, they also carry some amount of water also. As they carry some amount of water, hence they are responsible, or they are a part of a water cycle. Being a part of a water cycle, they are also responsible for bringing the rain also. So this was how the wind currents form and what are the various factors which are responsible for the winds. Now we will discuss about thunderstorm and cyclones. As we know that the thunderstorm cyclones are the disasters which destroy human life and property. Thunderstorms are basically developed in hot, humid and tropical areas, and we know that India is a country which possesses all such areas, hot, humid and tropical. Hence, they are more frequent in India. The rising temperature, as we discussed that there is a hotness, so there is a rise of temperature also, due to which strong upward rising winds are produced. We have discussed above that due to the presence of heat, the earth, due to the presence of heat, the air heats up and move upwards. So these winds carry water droplets upwards, and on moving upward, these water droplets are frozen or freezed. Hence, they again fall down, and this swift movement of falling water droplets along with the rising air creates the lightning and sound. And such an event which is accompanied with rain, lightning and sound is known as a thunderstorm. Now, we said that during this event there is a lightning and sound. So, we will discuss that how a thunderstorm become a cyclone. That how these events or how these disasters are so harmful to human life. We said that there is a movement of air accompanied with water. So, water requires heat whenever it changes its state. If we want a liquid state, then its temperature should be decreased, and if we want to change its vapor state, then we have to give heat. So whenever the water changes its state from liquid to vapor and give back when vapor condenses into liquid. So there is a formation of cloud, and before the cloud formation, water takes up heat from the atmosphere to change into vapor. And whenever water vapor again changes to liquid, they give heat to the atmosphere. So the heat which is given to the atmosphere, it ultimately is taken by the air, because in the atmosphere air is there. So it accepts the heat which is given by the water during its condensation, and the air, by accepting that heat, rises its own temperature. Means the air becomes warm air being lighter rises up and causes a drop in pressure. Again there is a pressure difference, hence the air rushes to the center, and the area at the center of cyclone is known as the eye of cyclone, and the cycle of accepting heat and giving heat repeats like a chain with the formation of a very high speed winds revolving there. So it is a weather condition. It is all a weather condition that water accepts the heat and changes its phase, then again gives up the heat, and that heat is taken by the air, that becomes warmer, and warmer air causes a pressure drop. So this cycle, whole process is a weather condition, and this weather condition is known as a cyclone. Now basically there are some factors which are responsible for this cycle. The factors which are responsible for such movement of heat are wind speed, wind direction, temperature and humidity. So these factors are responsible for the formation of cyclone. First we have water that heats up, changes to vapor phase, vapor condenses and changes to. There is a release of heat during this process. The heat is given to air which is released during the condensation, and formation of warm air occurs, and this formation of warm air ultimately causes a drop in pressure. And this whole cycle constitutes a factor that, or a disaster, that is a cyclone. Now, as we said that thunderstorm and cyclones, they both are disaster as they destruct human life and property. So what are the various destruction we will discuss that what are the various destructions which are caused by cyclones. Cyclones are very destructive because they have the winds which are very strong. So the first indication for the cyclone to becoming or for destruction is that the water waves which are produced by the wind are very powerful, and they are so much powerful that they can even overcome a person. Means person himself or person alone cannot overcome such powerful waves. The low pressure which is created lifts the water surface towards the center, and the rising water may attain a height of up to 3 to 12 meters, and this height appears like a water wall moving towards the shore, and as a resultant seawater enters in the low-lying coastal areas, causing severe losses of life and property there. So this is how the cyclone can destruct human life. And high wind speeds, whenever they are during cyclones, they affect houses, communication system, which may include telephone lines and other communication system also, and natural beauty also, which includes the uprooting of trees. Now, these were the destructive measures which we have discussed. There are some preventive measures or effective safety measures which can be taken to prevent. First, cyclone forecast and warning services. Next, there should be rapid communication. If it has come, then the information should be provided in a short duration of time. Next, if we are given the information that there is such disaster to be occurred, then we should not avoid or we should not ignore. So the information given during such processes should be taken in account soon. Next, we should make necessary arrangements to shift. If we are given the prior information and we know that such disasters are to be uprooting, so we should make the shift for ourselves and the essential household goods, domestic animals, vehicles to some safer places, and we should avoid the driving also on the roads. Next, we should not drink water that could be contaminated, because it is a disaster which affects land as well as water. Next, we should not touch switches, because due to the presence of water, these switches are wet and fallen power lines. If there is a uprooting of power lines or there is a uprooting of some switches or wires, we should not touch because they are bare. Last but the most important, we should not rush up for oneself. We should cooperate to others also. If we are on a safe side in such a situation, then we should cooperate with others to make them on a safe side also. So we should cooperate and should help them. Now we will discuss about tornado. We will discuss that what is tornado. It is defined as a rotating column of high wind speeds that appear as a dark funnel shaped cloud reaching from the ground to the sky. Means it is due to the wind speeds or speed winds which are very high, and due to that high wind speeds they appear like a funnel, as we know that the funnel shape in a form of in such form, cup form. So it appears in this funnel shaped, and its movement is from reaching from the ground to the sky. Means it is started from the ground and reaches to sky. And tornado may form within a cyclone, and it forms due to the effect of low pressure. And we said that tornado are origin from the earth, so the base of a tornado may be car, or it may be even house also. And these tornadoes occur regularly in the areas which include Atlantic Ocean, but weak tornadoes may occur anywhere and they are not more violent. Thank you, students. This was a brief knowledge about few natural disasters which occur in our atmosphere.